Yate, everybody. This is Jay Bongo, and I know some of you might think that reading was a little odd or a little off because I don't normally do any other reading in a language other than English, and um, wanted to kind of show that I'm learning a new language on Duolingo. Now, this language is in its beta phase, and it is Navajo. The Navajo language is one of the most widely spoken indigenous languages in the U.S. At least as far as like not in areas like Alaska or Hawaii, obviously, but in other areas like Midwest, um, morely more close to like New Mexico and other areas like that. But it is still very widely spoken Native American language. Now, why am I learning Navajo? And really, I kind of want to convince other people to learn native languages like Native Hawaiian, Navajo, and other Native American languages because I feel like to truly feel connected to this country, to truly have a good reason to be patriotic about this country and to really emphasize, I want to have a brighter future for this country. We need to interact more and understand our native populations, just like countries like New Zealand have done and Canada have done. We don't need to do this the exact same way. We should have a very American solution to an American problem. But I feel like a good start would be to more like get the word of Navajo and other languages out there. Soon we'll have maybe Sioux or Cree in our language list soon, maybe. My hope is that in the official language lists for the U.S., right now we have English and Spanish as our official languages. Also, go ahead and learn Spanish too, because the more connected you are with this country, with the country, and the people in it, the better. You'll understand their situation. You really understand where people are coming from if you have a broader perspective on a lot of things, and that's what learning a language does. It gives you not only insight into how to speak the language, it also gives insight into the culture behind that language. Like Spanish is used more than just understanding Spanish culture and Mexican culture. You also understand Spanish and Mexican lives here in the U.S. And learning Navajo will help you understand, at least somewhat, the situation of people, of like native indigenous people in the U.S. It won't give you the whole story because not every Native American tribe speaks Navajo. Not every Native American speaks Navajo. They speak the language of their tribe, whether they be Cree or Sioux or other tribes that failed to list here, Blackfoot Indian maybe. But the thing is, um, it's about that broader perspective. It's about being culturally aware. And the more culturally aware you are about what's going on in your country, the better you understand it and the better you'll be for it. Because knowledge can't hurt you. Knowledge can never hurt you unless you use it incorrectly. And if you use knowledge to understand, then you're always using it correctly. Have to, and it broadens your perspective and it lets you keep an open mind about things. So that's why I mainly want to spread the love of Navajo and other native languages into the U.S. Try to get that conversation piece in there, at least in the start, so that it could be a topic for the future. Because this isn't going to get solved now with everything else going on in the U.S. But I feel like having a better connection to our native peoples, like New Zealand has a better connection to their native peoples, um, would really help us out in the long run. Because whether we like it or not, we're all in Schitt's Creek together. And the only way we're going to paddle out is if we all try to understand and communicate with each other. And the only way we can communicate with each other effectively is if we speak more than English. Too many people think you can get by in this country, myself included for a long time, think that you can get by in this country by just knowing English. And for the most part, that is true, but there will be a lot of opportunities you'll be missing if you are not bilingual, at least in Spanish or in another language. Mainly Spanish because there is a lot of Spanish speaking opportunities in the US. areas like that. Other languages are important too, but you won't find immediate use out of them in your field, at least right away. In Spanish, you can go into like a certain like job site or construction or fast food or wherever and immediately find um, opportunities there. I just listed those two not as to say like you will only find Spanish in construction sites and in fast food areas, but those are the first two places that kind of came to mind because I know a lot of friends have stories of being able to use their Spanish in these environments and being able to communicate effectively with people that don't have a firm grasp of English in this country is amazing because the workflow doesn't get stunted. It doesn't slow down. It gets just keeps going and going and going. And that's what America is all about in my opinion. It's the thing for things to keep going. Things to smoothly transition. And the best way we can do that is if we all understand each other. Not only do we understand each other better when we learn languages, we understand where we're all coming from. We understand different walks of life without having to go through the muddled translation from this language to English. And the more you understand, the more knowledge you have, and knowledge in this form can only help you. So I would encourage go on Duolingo. Duolingo is completely free, and while it's not the best overall language site out there, it is good for getting the basics. If you really want to learn the Native American language and learn about Native American history, which is just as important as learning U.S. history in general, um, find other sources of knowledge aside from Duolingo. That's what I'm looking at doing. Duolingo is good for the basics, but not much else. And the Navajo and Duolingo is in its beta phase, so it's still got a lot of kinks to work out before you can actually sort of get into the meat and potatoes of everything. So really, that's my message in this video is I would encourage you, if you are a U.S. citizen like myself, to learn these languages, learn the history of the indigenous peoples here so that we can make life better all around for here. So that's it, really. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm thinking about doing Empire of Sin in the next one. God, it's been so long I can't even say the name right. So I have been Jay Bongo. You guys have been an amazing audience, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, lovelies.